Important. Please note that the absolute priorities, slide 8, were changed after the pre-recording of this webinar. As a result, this slide was removed from the video. For updated information about an invitational priority, you can refer to the new slides and the handouts to accompany Rehabilitation Long-Term Training Pre-Application Webinar, located at the RSA Grant Info page on the NCRTM website. Select Show More in the description of this video for the web address for the RSA Grant Info page. Thank you.
Welcome to the Rehabilitation Long-Term Training Pre-Application Webinar. This pre-recorded informational webinar is designed to provide technical assistance to interested applicants for 4 separate competitions under the Rehabilitation Services Administration's Rehabilitation Long-Term Training Program, Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance, or CFDA, numbers 84.129B as in boy, 84129H as in Harry, 84129P as in Paul, and 84.129Q. Specifically, this webinar is designed to highlight pertinent information from the Notice Inviting Applications, or NIA, to assist the applicant's understanding of this specific competition. The recording is designed to supplement the relevant material associated with the competition for which you are applying. Please note that this competition contains an application package, also sometimes called an application kit, that will provide additional information about the program. This recording is in addition to a general pre-application webinar available at ncrtm.ed.gov. We invite all prospective applicants to access this recording along with their teams responsible for developing program and financial components of the application. Hello and welcome. This is Kristen Reinhardt-Fernandez. I am a program specialist with the Training Programs Unit within the Rehabilitation Services Administration, or RSA. I am joined by my colleague, Michael Broski, Management Program Analyst, also with the Training Programs Unit in RSA. We would like to acknowledge Mary Lovely, the Acting Director of the Training and Service Programs Division and Chief of the Training Programs Unit, and Cassandra Schockler, who serves as one of several project officers for this program. This is an on-demand recording to help prepare applicants for the Rehabilitation Long-Term Training Program, CFDA numbers 84.129B, 84.129H, 84.129P, and 84.129Q. We will include a detailed review of the Notice Inviting Applications, or NIA, a brief overview of materials contained in the entire application package, and additional information and resources. We will now provide an overview of the Notice Inviting Applications. The Rehabilitation Long-Term Training Program is designed to support projects that provide academic training in areas of personnel shortages identified by the Secretary to increase the number of personnel trained in providing vocational rehabilitation services to individuals with disabilities. Specifically, this program provides master's degrees in vocational rehabilitation counseling with the expectation that the scholars will work as vocational rehabilitation counselors in state vocational rehabilitation agencies or related agencies, and ultimately improve employment outcomes and raise expectations for all people with disabilities, their families, their communities, and the nation. Projects funded under any of these rehabilitation long-term training competitions must meet rigorous standards in order to provide rehabilitation professionals the knowledge, skills, and qualifications necessary to meet the current challenges facing state vocational rehabilitation agencies and related agencies, and to assist youth and adults with disabilities in achieving competitive, integrated employment. This slide is a chart that is organized by program, estimated number of awards, the maximum award for a budget period of 12 months, project period, and points of contact. I will now review the information within the chart. CFDA 84.129B, long-term training, rehabilitation counseling. Estimated number of awards between 29 and 30. Maximum award for a budget period of 12 months is $200,000. The project period is up to 60 months. For further information, please contact Cassandra Schaffler. Her contact information is on slide 6. CFDA 84129H, long-term training in the area of mental illness. Estimated number of awards, 12. Maximum award for a budget period of 12 months is $150,000. Project period is up to 60 months. For further information, please contact Daryl Glover. His contact information is contained on the slide. CFDA 84129P, in the long-term training in the area of blindness. Estimated number of awards is 9. The maximum award, budget period of 12 months, is $150,000. Project period is up to 60 months. For further information, please contact Karen Holliday. Her contact information is on the slide. CFDA 84129Q, long-term training in the area of deafness. Estimated number of awards, 2. Maximum award for a budget period of 12 months is $150,000. Project period is up to 60 months. For further information, please contact Cassandra Schaffler. Award information. There is one notice inviting applications for this program. Within the notice, there are 2 absolute priorities. Absolute priority 1 under CFDA 84.129B is for vocational rehabilitation counseling. Under this priority, the department funds programs leading to a master's degree in vocational rehabilitation counseling. The goal of this priority is to increase the skills of VR counseling scholars so that upon successful completion, they are prepared to effectively meet the needs and demands of consumers with disabilities and employers. Absolute priority 2 is for 84.129H, P, and Q for rehabilitation specialty areas. Under this priority, the department funds programs leading to a master's degree or certificate in one of 3 specialty areas: rehabilitation of individuals who are mentally ill, specialized personnel for rehabilitation of individuals who are blind or have vision impairments, and 3, rehabilitation of individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. The goal of this priority is to increase the skills of scholars in these rehabilitation specialty areas so that upon successful completion of their master's degree or certificate programs, they are prepared to effectively meet the needs and demands of consumers with disabilities. Award information. There are 2 separate application packages for this program. Please make sure you are reviewing the correct package. There is one application package for CFDA 84.129B. There is one application package for CFDA 84.129H, 84.129P, and 84.129Q. The application package is the same for each of these 3 alphas. Again, those alphas are H, P, and Q. An application package will be posted for each alpha in grants.gov. You may apply for more than one alpha under this program, but you must submit a separate application for each one. Eligibility information. Eligible applicants are states and public or private nonprofit agencies and organizations, including Indian tribes and institutions of higher education. Cost share and match. Cost sharing of at least 10% of the total cost of the project is required of grantees under the Rehabilitation Long-Term Training Program. The Secretary may waive part of the non-federal share of the cost of the project after negotiations if the applicant demonstrates that it does not have sufficient resources to contribute to the entire match per 34 CFR or Code of Federal Regulations 386.30. The Secretary does not, as a general matter, anticipate waiving this requirement in the future. Furthermore, given the importance of matching funds to the long-term success of the project, eligible entities must identify appropriate matching funds in the proposed budget. Cost share and match. The selection criteria include factors such as the adequacy of support, including facilities, equipment, supplies, and other resources from the applicant organization or the lead applicant organization, and the relevance and demonstrated commitment of each partner in the proposed project to the implementation and success of the project, which may include a consideration of demonstrated matching support. And now I will turn things over to my colleague, Michael Broski.
Hello, I'm Michael Broski. The department will be able to review grant applications more efficiently if we know the approximate number of applicants that intend to apply. Therefore, we strongly encourage each potential applicant to notify us of their intent to submit an application. To do so, please email the program contact person listed under For Further Information Contact, the subject line, Intent to Apply, and include the applicant's name and a contact person's name and email address. Applicants that do not submit a notice of intent to apply may still apply for funding. Applicants that do submit a notice of intent to apply are not bound to apply or bound by the information provided. For information on how to submit an application, please refer to the Common Instructions for Applicants to Department of Education Discretionary Grant Programs, published in the Federal Register on February 13th, 2019, or 84 FR 3768, also available at the hyperlink listed on this slide, which contains requirements and information on how to submit an application. The selection criteria for this competition have a maximum score of 100 points and are as follows. Relevance to state, federal, vocational rehabilitation services program, 10 points. Nature and scope of curriculum, 20 points. Quality of project services, 25 points. Quality of project personnel, 10 points. Adequacy of resources, 20 points. Quality of the management plan, 15 points. Please review the NIA for the specific items under each selection criteria. These are the selection criteria that the reviewers will use to score the applications.
Application review information, review, and selection process. We remind potential applicants that in reviewing applications in any discretionary grant competition, the Secretary may consider under 34 CFR or Code of Federal Regulations 75.217 D3, the past performance of the applicant in carrying out a previous award, such as the applicant's use of funds, achievement of project objectives, and compliance with grant conditions. The Secretary may also consider whether the applicant failed to submit a timely performance report or submitted a report of unacceptable quality. In addition, in making a competitive grant award, the Secretary requires various assurances, including those applicable to federal civil rights laws that prohibit discrimination in programs or activities receiving federal financial assistance from the Department. Please see 34 CFR 100.4, 104.5, 106.4, 108.8, and 110.23 for more information.
In addition to the selection criteria listed above, the Secretary, in making awards under this program and in accordance with 67 CFR 385.33, considers such factors as the two listed below from 34 CFR 385.33, which will not be scored by the peer review panel. Item A, the geographical distribution of projects in each rehabilitation training program category throughout the country, and item B, the past performance of the applicant in carrying out similar training activities under previously awarded grants, as indicated by such factors as compliance with grant conditions, soundness of programmatic and financial management practices, and attainment of established project objectives. These criteria will be used after non-federal reviewers score the applications. The criterion related to geographical distribution of projects will be applied to fund out of rank order if the top-ranked applications do not represent a geographical distribution throughout the country. The criterion related to past performance will be applied to all applications that are recommended for funding. In any discretionary grant competition, the Secretary may consider, under 34 CFR 75.217 D3, the past performance of the applicant in carrying out a previous award, such as the applicant's use of funds, achievement of project objectives, and compliance with grant conditions. The Secretary may also consider whether the applicant failed to submit a timely performance report or submitted a report of unacceptable quality. In addition, in making a competitive grant award, the Secretary requires various assurances, including those applicable to federal civil rights laws that prohibit discrimination in programs or activities receiving federal financial assistance from the Department. When reviewing prior performance under 34 CFR 75.217 D3 and conducting risk assessments pursuant to 2 CFR 200.205, the Secretary will consider factors such as whether applicants that have submitted applications under multiple competitions described in this notice have demonstrated sufficient institutional capacity through the commitment of adequate resources, as described in the selection criteria, and suitable past performance to fully implement multiple awards. In reviewing capacity, the Secretary will consider factors such as whether potential grantees have demonstrated sufficient staffing, an adequate pool of potential scholars, and existing relationships with VR and related agencies to place scholars from multiple grants in appropriate internships. Based on these reviews, the Secretary will take appropriate action under 34 CFR 75.217 D3, 2 CFR 200.205, and 2 CFR 3474.10 before making awards to a grantee under multiple competitions described in this notice. Consistent with 2 CFR 200.205, before awarding grants under this competition, the Department conducts a review of the risks posed by applicants. Under 2 CFR 3474.10, the Secretary may impose specific conditions and, in appropriate circumstances, high-risk conditions on a grant if the applicant or grantee is not financially stable, has a history of unsatisfactory performance, has a financial or other management system that does not meet the standards in 2 CFR Part 200, Subpart D, has not fulfilled the conditions of a prior grant, or is otherwise not responsible. If your application is successful, we notify your U.S. representatives and U.S. senators and send you a grant award notification, or GAN. Or we may send you an email containing a link to access an electronic version of your GAN. We may notify you informally also. If your application is not evaluated or selected for funding, we will notify you. Administrative and national policy requirements. We identify administrative and national policy requirements in the application package and reference these and other requirements in the applicable regulations section of this notice. We reference the regulations outlining the terms and conditions of an award in the applicable regulations section of this notice and include these and other specific conditions in the GAN. The GAN also incorporates your approved application as part of your binding commitments under the grant. If you apply for a grant under this competition, you must ensure that you have in place the necessary processes and systems to comply with the reporting requirements in 2 CFR Part 170 should you receive funding under the competition. This does not apply if you have an exception under 2 CFR 170.110B. At the end of your project period, you must submit a final performance report, including financial information, as directed by the Secretary. If you receive a multi-year award, you must submit an annual performance report that provides the most current performance and financial expenditure information as directed by the Secretary under 34 CFR 75.118. The Secretary must also require more frequent performance reports under 34 CFR 75.720C. Annual project progress toward meeting project goals must be posted on a project website or university website. For specific requirements on reporting, please go to www.ed.gov.
Government Performance and Accountability Results, or GPRA measures. The Government Performance and Results Act of 1993, otherwise known as GPRA or GPRA, directs federal departments and agencies to improve the effectiveness of programs by engaging in strategic planning, setting outcome-related goals for programs, and measuring program results against those goals. For the Rehabilitation Long-Term Training Program, a grantee must collect information on GPRA Measure 1, the percentage of master's level counseling graduates fulfilling their payback requirements through qualifying employment. GPRA Measure 2, the percentage of master's level counseling graduates fulfilling their payback requirements through qualifying employment in state vocational rehabilitation agencies. GPRA Measure 3, the federal cost per master's level Rehabilitation Services Administration, or RSA, supported rehabilitation counseling graduate. Grantees are required to report annually to the Rehabilitation Services Administration on these data. Program measures. In addition to GPRA measures, as mentioned on slide 22, the following RSA program measures apply to the Rehabilitation Long-Term Training Program. Program Measure 1, number of scholars enrolled during the reporting period. Program Measure 2, number of scholars who dropped out or were dismissed from the program during the reporting period. Program Measure 3, number of scholars who graduated with a master's degree from the program during the reporting period. Program Measure 4, number of scholars who obtained employment in a state vocational rehabilitation or VERA agency during the reporting period. Program Measure 5, number of scholars who maintained or advanced in their employment in a state VERA agency during the reporting period. Each grantee must annually report the data needed to measure its performance through the annual performance reporting form. Other information. Accessible format. Individuals with disabilities can obtain the Notice Inviting Applications, or NIA, and a copy of the application package in an accessible format upon request to Cassandra Schaufler. Her contact information is contained on this slide, number 24. Electronic access to the NIA. The official version of the NIA is published in the Federal Register at www.gpo.gov/FDSYS. You may also access documents of the department published in the Federal Register by using the article search feature, and the hyperlink to that is contained on this slide, slide 24. Other information. The application narrative, which is part 3 of the application, is where you, the applicant, address the selection criteria that reviewers use to evaluate your application. We recommend that you, 1, limit the application narrative to no more than 45 pages, and 2, use the following standards. A page is 8.5 by 11 on one side only, with 1-inch margins at the top, bottom, and both sides. Double space, no more than 3 lines per vertical inch, all text in the application narrative, including titles, headings, footnotes, quotations, references, and captions, as well as all text in charts, tables, figures, and graphs. Use a font that is either 12 point or larger or no smaller than 10 pitch or characters per inch. Use one of the following fonts: Times New Roman, Courier, Courier New, or Arial. The recommended page limit does not apply to Part 1, the cover sheet, Part 2, the budget section, including the narrative budget justification, Part 4, the assurances and certifications, or the one-page abstract, the resumes, the bibliography, or the letters of support. However, the recommended page limit does apply to all of the application narratives.
We will now provide some resources for you to use. If you have not done so already, please be sure to carefully review each document outlined on the slide. Notice Inviting Applications, or the NIA, Common Application Instructions, Application Package, or see grants.gov, and please remember to carefully read the Dear Applicant letter for important reminders. Grants.gov, Grant Making at Ed. A few more reminders. Consult the NIA to review the program authority and applicable regulations for your specific program. The application deadline is 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember to access the webinar designed for your specific program. Register early. Grants.gov may take 5 or more business days to complete. Submit early. Don't wait until the last day to submit your application. Grants.gov will put a date timestamp on your application and then process it after it is fully uploaded. Verify submission was correct. Verify that Grants.gov received your submission on time and that it was validated successfully. I'd like to recognize and thank Cassandra Schaffler, the competition manager for this grant. Cass was also instrumental in preparing this presentation along with Mary Lovely. If you have questions related to this competition, please put them in writing and submit them via email. This will allow Cassandra to maintain a record of all the questions and responses so that they may be shared with all prospective applicants. Cassandra may be reached at Cassandra P. Schaffler, U.S. Department of Education, 400 Maryland Avenue, Southwest, room 5122, Potomac Central Plaza, Washington, D.C., 20202-2800. Her telephone is area code 202-245-7827, and her email is cassandra.schaffler@ed.gov. If you use a telecommunications device for the deaf, or TDD, or text telephone, or TTY, call the Federal Relay Service, or FRS, toll-free at 1-800-877-8339. Thank you.